Gotta get up early on the farm. It's time for Black people to connect to the soil.
And so we have to get back to the land so that we can make sure we can sustain ourselves and our future generations. And we have to do that through owning land and farming.
We're on the acres of land owned by farmer Patrick Muhammad. He's young, Black, and never owned a farm before.
We had no lawnmowers. I didn't have the right tools. And we just stepped out on faith. We knew God would lead us and guide us. And since that part and time, we've gone from 31 acres. We've got up to 40 cows. It's about 60 sheep, about 20 horses, hundreds of chickens.
You get the idea. We're on Black land, in Black land.
And now,
as a brown person, you just feel so invisible.
That's not tradition. Where we're from.
Brothers and sisters, I welcome you to this joyful day.
We celebrate freedom. Where we are.
Get on the ground!
I know someone heard something.
And where we're going.
We the people means all the people.
The Black Information Network presents Blackland with your host, Vanessa Tyler.
Some of us have land in our family, not as much as we used to. Patrick Muhammad knows the value of land economically and spiritually. He owns Your Faith Farms in Georgia. Patrick, welcome.
Thank you so much. It's such an honor to be with you today to discuss our land journey.
Talk about the connection of Black people owning their own land.
Well, this current generation is a generation where our parents ran away from the farms. And so they encouraged us to go to school, get a degree, and get a good job. And so we lost a huge connection to the land and the value of the land. And so it's important that in today's time, those skills are necessary to sustain life. We see in the news every day where companies are being called out for adding different chemicals to the foods. We see all the recalls. We see all the shortages. And we do not want to be solely dependent on someone outside of our community to feed us.
Farmer Muhammad says there is a spiritual connection for us too.
Oh, absolutely. I can tell you this. I didn't realize, growing up in the concrete jungle, I grew up in East St. Louis, Illinois. I'm a proud East St. Louis resident. And I went on to school in Kentucky and I moved to Atlanta. And so with the hustle and bustle, of the city and trying to move up the corporate ladder, we're never present. We're alive, but we're not present. The land allows you to get in tune with Mother Nature, and ultimately, Mother Nature is an essence of God. And so being on the land and knowing that those sounds that you hear are the rhythm of the earth, those animals, those insects, those vegetables, they all submit to the immediate nature they were created to be, right? The bee doesn't say, you know what, I'm going to fly at night because it's cooler, right? It follows what it was created to do. The butterflies, the hummingbirds. And so when you can be still and understand the beauty and the bounties of God, then you can appreciate having dominion, but not dominance.
Well, you're called the principal farmer, and you are a Black farmer really on an entirely different level. Talk about your land, the scope of your farm, and how you acquired so much land.
Yes. So my wife and I were in a conversation with my dad, and he was saying, you can't leave your children that principal's parking space. He said, what are you going to do where your children can benefit for your hard work? And so we began to study wealth in America, and all wealthy families at some point had a farm inside their portfolio. And so we wanted to duplicate that, and we didn't know where to go, right? And so I couldn't call on my dad, granddad, cousins, uncles, because nobody in my family has land. And so we did our little research, and basically got pre-qualified and stepped out on faith and bought 31 acres with no experience.
Here he is giving a tour of the land.
Here's my pollinator garden. That's our country store. See up there on the top where it says Hillside Farm up there? That's our growing farm.
The Muhammad's farm is called Your Faith Farms, and it is not located in the sticks somewhere, but the Georgia farm is 12 minutes from Atlanta's airport.
What is the state of Black-owned farms today?
Oh, right now, we're struggling. As you know, there are many lawsuits that are out there, and too often we've been picked apart by some of these quote unquote opportunities where some may get some money and skim it off the top and some get no money. And so as a country, Black farmers are struggling to maintain the legacy farms. There's not that many legacy farms left. We're losing acreage, hundreds of thousands of acreage every year. From taxes, from nobody in the family wants to continue the legacy.
Farmer Patrick Muhammad says something is changing. Just like a seed in the ground, something is growing.
There is an uptick in this next generation that's interested in getting back in this space. And I think a lot of it is due to the food that's out there, right? This generation with this social media, you know, if you show someone like, hey, this hamburger was purchased 2 weeks ago, and I set it in this windowsill, and it looks the same way it did 2 weeks ago. These children are smart. They start to think about, then that can't be something that's good for my body because it's going to do the same thing. And so we have something I call regenerational farming. That's where the older generation and the younger generation are now connecting back through the land and agriculture. And so, yes, we have a ways to go. These last 50 to 60 years have really robbed us of a lot of our land. But I can tell you there is an uptick, and I want my voice to be a voice that encourages families to do it.
He's encouraging us to get back on the land. Even the city slickers who never could keep a house plant should start.
Since 2014, with my wife and I acquiring our land, we have personally helped over 30 families move from their subdivisions, from their townhouses, to where they're living on farms right now and changing their family's life. And if each one teach one, then they're going to share the same reality.
And like seedlings, he's cultivating Black children because he also runs an agriculture school, the Chattahoochee Hills Charter School. He's the principal, thus the nickname, the Principal Farmer.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Chattahoochee Hills Charter School. I'm Kendall. I've been a student here since kindergarten. This is our farm. After seeds have grown to seedlings, we transport them to the farm to be harvested. In our agriculture class, we learn about the essentials of farming for a bountiful harvest.
Like Kendall, the students here are bright and learning modern farming with the technology of today.
So my wonderful 11-acre campus of 540 children, we get a chance to study art, agriculture, and environment every day, and they do that with the Principal Farmer.
That is amazing. So you're making sure that there are future farmers. Talk about a little more about that school. So you basically acquired the school, but who are the children there? Are these children interested in becoming farmers or environmentalists? Who are the kids who choose to go there?
That's a wonderful question. My student base, we pull from 7 cities inside of Fulton County, which is one of the counties of Metro Atlanta. And so there's a lottery. So these are families that have reviewed our school and looked at our history and looked at our model and said, I want to place my child in that school. And so I believe that one of the reasons our families, we have a 99% retention rate. I believe that our families know that we believe that every child is the most important child. I don't have numbers. I have children. I have 540 children that I claim as my children, and my staff has the same sentiments. And so what makes our school unique is we are focused on developing the whole child. Yes, we have to have the test scores that we have to jump to. Yes, we have to cover the math, science, social studies, ELA. In addition to that, we have to work on the social emotional learning of our children in this day and time. And so on our campus, we have access to 820 acres of natural hiking trails where we go hiking at least once a month. On our campus, we have from rabbits to goats to chickens to livestock dogs to horses and miniature horses to alpacas. We have a greenhouse. We have growing towers where every child places a seed and grows a seed and then plants it inside of the garden. And so what I would say is the ideal child of our school is that child that still has that imagining and wondering mind. And we try our best to make every day the greatest day of their educational experience.
He says the key is for his students to get into college and get a little-known scholarship.
There are 19 HBCUs in the country that are 1890 land-grant colleges. These are colleges that were set up with a focus on agriculture, and their budgets are inside of the USDA Farm Bill. Now, these 19 colleges have scholarships called the 1890 Scholarship that goes under applied for. In the state of Georgia, agriculture is an $83 billion budget. Over 53,000 jobs are associated with agriculture in the state of Georgia. And so we have to make sure that our children get an opportunity for a little bit of those chances. And so we are lining our children up and showing them the beautiful parts and aspects of agriculture, not just planting seeds, but the AI technology that's necessary, the drone technology that's necessary, the legal help that's necessary in the agriculture space, the science, the chemistry, the culinary. So our goal is to expose them to as many opportunities that are out there. And if they do choose a path, then we know that they have some real life experience from their time at our school that will aid them in their future aspirations. And so I see in my children strategic solutionists. I see in my children who try to make sure they leave every interaction better than they found it. I see in my children those that want to plant positivity into their interactions. And so that's our focus, to guide them to become that whole person, so that as they enter into this adulthood, they're making a bigger impact in society because they're mindful of their place in society.
He is a farmer, and under the right condition, he knows what he plants will grow.
See, when you put that seed in the ground, there's no guarantee that that seed's going to do anything but sit dormant in that ground. But faith allows you to believe that if I give this seed the right environment, if I give this seed the right nourishment, the right light, if I give this seed the right inspiration, then it's going to send a shoot down. And when it sends a shoot down, it's going to get the strength, the foundation to send a shoot up. And once they send that shoot up, it's too late. Now it's ready to produce, you can have a harvest. And inside of that harvest, when that plant knows that it's ready to end, it's going to push all of its energy to create seeds for the next generation. And so farming allows us to know that's the same thing we have to do for this generation. We have to make sure before our time is winding up that we put all of our energy into this next generation so they will have a bountiful harvest, but they'll have seeds to give to further generations.
The principal farmer wants us to get a little soil under our nails, no matter where we are.
But I will say this. No matter where you are, if you're in a townhouse, you're in a high rise, you have to start growing something. Even if that's your herbs, even if that's a tomato on a patio, you have to get back to growing because that establishes faith.
Want to know more about the principal farmer? Check out his website, patrickmuhammad.com. Also, look for his TikTok videos featuring his animals and the Great Pyrenees dogs he raises.
I think they're one of the greatest dogs for your farm because they're very personable, but they are great protectors. But they also are extremely caring, and they'll help the sheep who just had the lamb and she's too tired to get up, but they'll clean the baby lamb and stay with it. So make sure that the coyotes and turkey vultures don't come. And that's not something that the principal farmer has taught it. It's inside their nature. So the more we get in tune with the nature that God created for animals and ourselves, then we'll begin to witness some of these miraculous gifts that we as human beings have.
Patrick Muhammad, the principal farmer, thank you for keeping us connected to the earth.
Thank you, and continue doing the marvelous job. You are a voice that this generation needs to continue to listen to because you are an inspiration to the masses.
I'm Vanessa Tyler. Please like and subscribe, Blackland. Join me next week for a brand new episode.